to start out by introducing myself, and I appreciate you being here. My name is Keith Owen. I am a second-degree black belt under Professor Pedro Sauer, who lives in Virginia now. Lives in Salt Lake City. I live in Boise, Idaho. Before we start, though, I want to address something that has come up in my life personally. Anybody read my blogs? Right, a few of you have read my blogs. And I just want to tell you that I am obviously the most evil man that has ever walked the face of the earth. And it's funny because I wrote my blog knowing full well that when I wrote it, I was going to take some criticism. And criticism's cool. The blog, just if you want to read it, it's Keith Owen blog. You can just go to it. It's the headline is Can Women Really Do BJJ? Something like that. I can't remember. I was told, hey, have a provocative headline that gets attention. So yeah, okay, I'll do that. So the whole idea was to draw attention to women in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and that was really my only goal. I just want to say that I really feel that we have we don't have enough women in BJJ, and I don't think anyone's talking about it or anyone's doing it. And the majority of schools that are in Canada and the United States are owned by men. So men, truthfully, have no idea how to attract more women. And I had gotten to think about it, and I wrote this blog. And I read the blog, and it's funny because then I instantly get attacked. And I look at it, and I go, I'm not seeing what I'm doing that's so terribly wrong. And if you've read it, maybe you see something that you don't like in it. But typically, people read into my blog something that's totally not there. And in fact, it got so bad that I was even said that I'm a racist now. That I hate people of all races. And it morphed into that. And I just laugh. And I want to just say this. I want to say this. You read my blog, it's how I feel. I wrote it about how I feel as a male business owner who wants to have more women in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I said that right at the beginning of it. Liar! You don't want women! Yeah, but I said that. And it's funny because everything that I say that's true, that I really true, is a lie, and anything that they perceive negative must be the truth. And I reject them totally. I totally reject it, and I'm not falling for that. And I'm not going to be. And I've been called every name in the book. I've been called every name in the book, and I reject that as well, because I'm not putting up with it. I am not anti-woman. And in fact, I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have an anti-woman problem in Jiu-Jitsu. We have a no-woman problem in Jiu-Jitsu. And we need to do something about it. And that was my only point, was to bring this up knowing full well that I was going to be attacked. So I completely reject what they're saying. And if I have to be the bad guy, all right, to get this issue talked about, and it's been awesome, man. There's been like 18 blogs done. Open letter to Keith Owen, why you're a scumbag. Okay, I'll take that. I'm good with that. I'll be the scumbag so that we can talk about these women's issues, and it's no problem. Here's the point and the premise of my blog. You have to be tough in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu if you want to become a black belt. Gentlemen, would you agree with that? Yeah. There have been plenty of times where I've wanted to quit. So now when I say it about women, you need to be tough in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's the basis and the starting point for getting your next belt. Oh my gosh. Like, then they twist it and go, what, we're not tough? Well, I don't know, you answer that question, but the whole point of it is I need you to be tough. As an instructor, my job is to get you a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'll do my part if you'll do your part. What is that? Well, first of all, be tough. Come to me and talk to me if there's any problems that you have. Stay away from the big jerk-face guys who, as you're wrestling, I'm going to tell you this is why you got to be tough. You're going to get good, ladies, and you're going to start kicking the crap out of men. And as they're starting, and they go, oh, crud, I can't handle her. They're going to go, oh, game on. And they're going to give you full force and go all the way and try to be as mean, as tough as they possibly can on you. And that's when you typically get hurt. And you got to be able to face that. I don't know what to do. I can't change that. I can't change men. And this is a man's sport predominantly, where women can fit in. It's not like the National Football League, where that's super hard. You're like, oh, on the line, hitting. That's a hard, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, women can certainly fit in. It's no problem. But my problem is that we get women who come in, and my wife summed this up nicely for me. She said, and my wife's a girly girl, you know, she has the nails and the purses and loves shoes, and that's the way she is. And she's like, I don't want to do jiu-jitsu. I don't want men touching me. And I go, that's point taken. She goes, women and men too, I'm going to say this as well, people in general are in love with the idea of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They're in love with the idea of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And it starts, what happens is when they come to class and they start into the grind of it, they see, holy crap, this is more than I bargained for. Wow, this is really tough. And you're not going to get your purple belt or higher if you're not tapping men out. So you better get focused and start doing that. Well, the grind of it every day of dealing with a shoulder injury, of whatever your problem is, a knee injury, now I'm hurt. It's tough. It's tough for men and it's tough for women. But I believe it's even more tough for women. Because, I mean, they're not as strong as men, upper body-wise, and it's more difficult. So when I go and I say, hey, if you get a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as a woman, you are such. What do you mean? I'm a blue belt. I'm not special? I'm just going to say it. I'm not that impressed. Great, you got a blue belt. Fine. And I just gave out 3 blue belts to women last night. Congratulations. Are you special? You're special as human beings. Get a purple belt, man. You know why? Because that means that's how you get a purple belt is tapping men out. And when you do that, and which I believe you can do it, that's fantastic. Men, I got a blue belt, aren't I special? No, get a purple belt and above, and then you're in. Because you've stuck around and you've dealt with it. Last thing I want to tell you, and this is interesting, that I'm in love with the idea of climbing Mount Everest. Anybody else? Any men? Watch anything on it? Oh, look at all the hands go up. I'm in love with the idea of climbing Mount Everest. Now, I'm talking Keith Owen here. What does that mean? If anybody's watched those shows, man, I'd be going, oh, I'd love to climb Mount Everest and say, I've been to Mount Everest, and that's so awesome. But there's a little thing called the Khumbu ice fall, if you don't ever know what that is, which means in the middle of the day, the ice starts to melt, and it comes down and kills an average of 2 or 3 climbers every year. You get hypoxia in your blood when you're climbing, and your blood starts to coagulate into gel, and you go about 20 feet and need to sit down as you're going up. Once you get to the top of Everest, you're on top, you only have about 15 minutes before you have to climb down. The most dangerous, treacherous part is coming back down off of Everest. And to top it all off, it's damn cold. And I hate cold. So am I in love with jiu-jitsu? Yeah. Now I got to be tough enough, Keith Owen, tough enough to get all acclimatized, get the gear, get money organized to go climb Mount Everest. But but jiu-jitsu is exactly the same way, only it's not that cold. But you're tapping people out. It's tough, and I'm telling you, I've been to the top of Mount Everest, not really, but the top of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Mount Everest, and I'm telling you what it takes to get there. And people go, no, you can't tell me that. You're a liar. So when I say that the pitfalls of jiu-jitsu, and one of the things that stuck into ladies' minds was I said the word pregnant. I said the word. And I didn't understand. And I was merely referring to the fact that why do women quit at my school? Well, they've gotten pregnant. And then I added by their boyfriends or husbands so that people wouldn't go around, yeah, because your guys are getting pregnant, they're having an affair, they're doing all this. No, it's just, you get pregnant and you have to leave, right? I would not let you train if you were pregnant. I'm sorry, I'm not going to let you do it. But you know what? Men leave because their wives get pregnant and they got to be at home. It's just the way it is. And if you don't like the word pregnant, well, I'm going to tell you this, ladies, stay away from men then. Because I think that's how you get pregnant, but I'm not sure. Okay, right? If you're doing jiu-jitsu, just don't see any men, all right? It's just the way of life. So deal with it. So I'm not taking anything back in my blog. I reject everybody who says, I'm anti-woman. I am very pro-woman. I want to see women do well in the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay? Last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to go. I have come up with some ideas on how to get more women into the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm just going to go down the list real fast. There needs to be a YouTube channel by some woman dedicated to women's issues in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, talking about what to do how to handle certain things. What happens when you're not being able to talk to your instructor. Talk about, I'm going to say it too, and I'm going to get in trouble for this. What happens when you're rolling and it's your time of month and are you going to go to class? I mean, they need to deal with those kinds of things because we guys are like, oh, right? Instructors need help in understanding women's issues. So women, you need to go and talk to your instructor about how to improve the women's part of the class. As a woman, if you're a woman in jiu-jitsu, you need to go and take the other women and maybe have a special class for yourself if there's no woman class. And it's up to you to go and recruit more women for your instructors, whether they're male or women, but go and get more women to join and get them in, and then be there to teach those women how to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think that's a great idea. I think more black belt competitor women need to step up and represent women in Jiu-Jitsu more. I got told this the other day that somebody told this to me, and I don't necessarily agree, but I got told this, and I went, huh. I just made a thought of it. Maybe the competitor women don't want to take up this issue because it leads to more competition that they have to go and fight. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I got brought up. I go, oh, well, if that's not the case, then I want black belt women to step up and be a good source for this and be a lead. And maybe they could do the YouTube channel and help women out. And lastly, here's where I'm putting my time where my mouth is. On my Facebook page, if you want to be my Facebook friend and you're a lady who's in jiu-jitsu and you want a black belt to mentor you and help you and tell you the pitfalls of jiu-jitsu, please come and be my Facebook friend. And then you can ask me any question that you want to. And ladies, I'll be more than happy to help you to become better in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I have no problem with that because I want to see you succeed and I want to see black belts in Jiu-Jitsu. But I urge other people to, instead of calling me names, to come up with solutions to help more women be in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And if you just sit and call me names, you're not really interested in changing what's going on in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world. And I don't know how many men are. I don't know how many men want more women in their school. I don't know. But you know what? It's awesome. And women are the people that need to be in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu most. In a self-defense situation, they hit the ground. Man, it'll be awesome if they could throw an armbar on some dude and make him run away. That would be awesome, and that serves our purpose. I appreciate you listening to me. And again, I reject anybody who sits and calls me anti-woman because I am completely pro-woman. And I think the 3 blue belts that I gave out yesterday are kind of an indication that I want to see women succeed.